Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today once again back with the H-135. It's received yet another update. Now this time I did fly it around a little bit before starting the video. I wanted to see if there was any significant changes and that actually warranted a new video, and I feel that there are. The flight model seems to have changed once again, and there's some very nice behavioral changes in transition from a solid state up into lift. The takeoff previously was very dramatic. It was just nothing, boom, you're up, right? And it's much more subtle now. You can actually, you can even drag the skids along the ground if you don't, keep control of that tail rotor, and keep the aircraft stable. So it's pretty amazing change. So without any further talk on from me, let's go ahead and jump into the seat and check it out. Alright, so here we are once again back into the cockpit, and you can see there's been quite a few graphical changes. The center pedestal here has gone through some really significant changes. They're starting to add more detail to the collective here. Now, obviously, this is still a work in progress. This is way too pronounced, but I love that the progress that's being made. I mean, there's just, again, we're starting to see more and more detail coming into this aircraft, so I'm really excited about this. Let's go ahead and come up top and take a look at a few things. The battery switches that were previously down on the pedestal are now up here. Same thing with the avionics switch. Now it shows in-op at the moment, but obviously more information's or more updates are coming our way. But we can just flip on the battery here, get our fuel pumps turned on, get our beacon light and strobe light on, and we can turn our nav lights on. Don't mind the passengers that you guys probably hear screaming in the background. Got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old apparently disagreeing with each other on something. I'm sure any of you parents out there know how that goes. Okay, so with the aircraft starting up here. Now, by the way, something I forgot to show you guys last time is you can actually click right here and you have a third monitor that can be set up and programmed. Some of the other changes that have come to this version is you can see autopilot functionality, lights, spotlight, and doors, and configuration are all moved to the soft keys here, and this is for VR users. You also have different states that you can quickly trigger. I think this is probably one of the coolest things that I've seen in the aspect of customizing the aircraft and the environment for specific users. These guys are really taking a lot of time to make this as functional as possible for everybody, and I really respect them for this. It's not to say that nobody else thinks about the different setups we have, but this is really nice. This is really handy, especially for VR. So one of the things also you can do is remove the windscreen. This is for a bug that tends to happen with rainy weather. If you find that it's just bugging out, you're getting rain in the cockpit or glitching, crash of desktops, etc., just disable that when you're in that kind of weather, and that will go away. Your doors, you can actually remove them now. Same thing, obviously the parking brake's up here. There's a rear tablet, which actually I don't know where it is. It must be in the back seat. I haven't actually looked for it yet. It clearly did something, but we'll have to check that out at a later time. I'm not too concerned with that right now, but I think it's pretty cool that you can remove the doors. That's really neat. Definitely help with that sound. I'm going to leave them on just because it's going to get super loud in here if I don't, and I don't want to deafen you guys here. So anyway, I thought that was something that you guys might be interested in seeing. I think that's pretty slick. There is some more functionality to this particular pad that we'll have to check out later on. We have the electronic flight bag. I haven't. There's a third-party application that has to be loaded in order for this to function. I haven't gotten that far yet. Been pretty busy with about 2,000 different things going on right now. So anyway, so always neat stuff. Let's go ahead and close that down, and let's get this bird started up. While the aircraft is starting, you also have your soft keys for most of your autopilot information here, as well as your barometer and things like that are up here as well, I believe, unless they have moved that. Let's see here. I actually don't see our barometer anymore, which means that they have moved it. And this is one of those things that sort of battle every time that they do an update, is tracking down where they've moved things. And that's totally ooh, panel lights. So I still don't like the power button, the button features. I wish that they could accelerate that. Hopefully that's something that comes down here soon. I don't know why, it just bugs me. Here I am. That's the biggest thing I can complain about. Listen to me. Complaining about the buttons move too slowly. How awesome is that, right? Anyway, so let's see if I can figure out how to set the altimeter pressure right there. All right, so there's Barrow. Look at that. That's awesome. So you actually have, now it doesn't look like it's animated yet, but you just mouse over here and use your mouse wheel like you would any other aircraft to change your barometric pressure. Beautiful. Beautiful, guys. Beautiful. That's awesome. I love that. It's those little things that really go a long way. And then let's get engine 2 rolled up. And by the way, for anyone who's still struggling with cold and dark state, you just mouse over these and mouse wheel forward. Use your scroll wheel. And it's 2 position. The first one starts the engines. The second one actually initializes the FADEC and gets you ready for flight. As I discussed in a previous video, you no longer have to have the pitch bound to any controls. Now it's all just the throttle. That's all you need now. And we're just waiting for both of these to show idle. We got engine 1 at idle. We're waiting for engine 2. And then coming out for a second, I wish I had showed you guys beforehand, but there's been some new texturing, it looks like, done to the, I guess you'd call that the rotor shaft. I don't know what its official designation is, but there's some new texturing that's been done up there, new texturing down here to the tail rotor. They're definitely working a lot on this aircraft. Just every time you see these subtle differences that over time aren't so subtle anymore. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, so now get us ready for flight. We're just simply going to come back here to the engine start switch here and just roll it forward. And the FADEC engages. And at this point, we are ready to fly. So let's go ahead and do so. Cameras right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I mean. I'm just going to slowly start adding collective, and you can see the aircraft's already starting to rotate. We're not off the ground or anything, we're just rotating because we've increased that tail rotor speed. So now I have to start countering it with that left tail rotor and a little bit of forward pitch to get it to stop. And we're going to keep on adding a bit more power. And you can see right now it's already starting to lift. We're starting to be able to rock the aircraft. Adding a little bit more collective, and now we're up. Now we got to pay attention. Ooh, don't hit the fuel pumps. Don't hit the fuel pumps. But still having to dance on everything. Really having to, you guys can sort of see the rudder pedals there. It's a challenging aircraft. And it's getting more and more challenging each time I fly it. As far as with each new update. So I'm going to start seeing if we can do, let's see if we can do a correct-ish taxi. So helicopters at many airfields are still required to taxi. So we're just going to see if we can't keep her in that ground effect, which is sort of what we're floating on right now. It's kind of a pillow. Okay. I'm actually probably a little high for this, truth be told. And I've actually lost my control input. Oh! By the way, from the external view like that, guys, if you don't want all the controls, so you know how you have your external and you have your drone camera, which is what that one was. If you hit C or Charlie on your keyboard, it will give you control authority. Your controls will work in that mode. All right, so let's bring it around here. Like, and I'm really having a dance on it, guys. I'm like this is probably the most challenging experience I've had with it thus far. It's much more responsive. It's much more I feel like I'm controlling chaos, if that makes sense. Alright, so we're just going to do a light pitch forward. And start accelerating just using the ground effect to keep it off the ground. And what should happen is we start to accelerate, we should transition, and there she goes. Out of ground effect. Now we're going to hit a cap here in a minute on how high the helicopter will climb, because the main rotors no longer have enough lift generated to get us higher. I can pitch up a little bit, which will give us a little bit more altitude, and not quite so much more forward momentum. We'll also start losing some forward airspeed. But let's go ahead and add the collective in. And we are up and rolling. The sounds, I think, are getting better and better. I'm going to fly a little wacky here in a second, and I'll take those front doors off so you guys can hear everything a little bit better for right now. Where was that config? Oh, mama. And now I am being required to use the tail rotor more than before, even at the higher speeds, which I would imagine makes more sense. Watching my altitude is probably something that I should do a little more. There we go. Let's get above these trees here. By the way, I always forget to pay attention to where I fly. I get a question asked a lot, you know, where are you flying? That's so pretty, blah, blah, blah. I'm really terrible about paying attention to that. I'll give you guys an example of what I do. So here we are at the very northwest tip of Alaska, is where this particular location is. But what I do when I make videos like these, guys, and it's sort of just to get creative. I've been trying to work on it more and more often, is finding new places to fly. I literally go to the map and I just pick some random spot and I zoom in on it and I find the smallest airport that I can find and that still has a parking spot, because some of the airfields I've noticed, you know, you only have departure options, which means that you're going to start the aircraft in a hot start. Whoa, torque is a little high. But I just literally move my mouse around and find places, and I really recommend that you guys do that, because as many viewers have pointed out in the most recent ones, I'm sort of getting lucky lately in finding some cool spots. Let's get those doors back on. I don't know how loud it is in there. Doesn't really look like it made much of a difference with the sound, huh? Alright, now let's check out the autopilot system, because it is something that has come up more than once. I may have just trimmed us out too much, so let's do autopilot on. Let's do an altitude hold. Mercy. I probably should have been a little bit more gentle with that. And let's check out heading hold. Boom, there she rolls. My hands are off the controls. We're rolling at 145 knots. Maybe you should pull that back a little bit. Looks like we're running a little fast. But then we start to sink, so let's actually get that back up. I'm actually going to take control here. Oh, no! Okay, so that was interesting. I don't know if that's a fault of the autopilot or what happened there, unless I set my altitude. Alright, so let's check something out here, because I made out of... Oh, you know, I set my altitude to 0, that's why. That was totally my fault. Totally my fault. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's go altitude here, and let's select our altitude. What are we at right now? 800 feet. Let's take that down to... gosh, we're going to crash before I get it done. There we go. Jeez. Okay. Alright, so yeah, that was totally my fault. Can't ask something to hold your altitude when you set it to the ground level. Alright, so let's see how quickly it stabilizes. I wasn't very kind with that, so I'm going to take that as totally my fault there. All right, so now, gosh, that's so violent. Okay, so the altitude taking, or the autopilot taking over is extremely violent there. Where's our heading bug here? Heading bug's way over there. Plus moves it this way. All right. Oh, there we go. Gosh, yeah, okay. So that is very violent. Hopefully that's something that gets adjusted. But, I mean, it works. It's working. Definitely can't complain there. Alright, so let's disengage the autopilot now. Autopilot is working for all intents and purposes. It needs some tweaking, but it works. And let's close our pad here. And let's go find a spot to land, so you guys can see what that's all about. And we'll call it a day, because I have no idea where that airfield is now. Oh, I took my feet off the rudder pedals. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely requiring more input from the trim, or the tail rotor. So you're a lot busier in the seat now. See if we can't find a cool spot. What's something new? I don't want to just go back to the airfield. I want to find a neat spot to do some camping. How cool would that be? I'm going to go camping this weekend. Oh yeah, what you taking? The helicopter. Find some remote areas doing that. How about that right there? That looks pretty good, right? Guys see anything better? Look at that. Nice little fishing spot. What do you guys think? Think I can get it in right there? And actually, there's probably not any fish right there, but maybe go for a swim. Alright, so let's see how quickly we can get it under control our way here. Where'd that spot go? I lost it. Was it that one? Oh, I think it was right there, huh? Ugh. I don't know if I can do that. Let's go up here. That looks safer. Alright, so I'm reducing the collective. Start losing some altitude here. I'm going to try to arrest our forward momentum here. Going backwards now. This is probably way too tight for a helicopter and very unsafe, but okay, so I'm having to add quite a bit more collective to get her out of the descent. We're still descending, it looks like. And use that green dot on your HSI, guys, to let you know which way the aircraft's headed. Come forward a bit. We need to come forward a bit. We need to come forward a bit. Oh, mercy. Like, yeah, this is, not gonna lie, a little bit on the stressful side. It's challenging. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no, no, no. I need you to turn. Come on, baby. Work with me. Pull it forward just a little bit. Little tap of nose forward to keep it from flowing back. Oh, went too far. See? It's that ground effect. The ground effect almost acts like a pillow. It gets a little difficult to punch through it sometimes, and oof, can be a little nerve-wracking. All right, so let's throttle it down. And turn those engines off. Not too bad if you ask me. Not a bad parking spot. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I really hope you're enjoying this project just as much as I am. I know it's still got a ways to go. I know the flight model isn't 100% there yet. We knew that, but every single time they update it, it's getting more and more challenging and just so much better each time I step into this thing. Like I said, this was hands down the most difficult it has ever been for me to fly since I discovered this one. So anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, this is version 0.83. It is the most recent version currently available at the time of this video. So let me know what you guys think of it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.